Actually, no. I'm eating Nutter Puffs, the puff snack with real peanut butter by Pop Chips. Pop Chips has gone nuts. Peanuts? We've taken everything you love about peanut butter and packed into the perfectly snackable puff. Peanut butter Nutter Puffs are a symphony of salty, sweet memories born from our shared love of the seductive spread. Now that's peanut better. All swoon and no spoon. Ingredients: peanut butter, cornstarch, peanut flour. Contains, here's a shocker for you, peanut.
Hey everybody, welcome to Aniki, the podcast about anime with two brothers. I'm Ben.
And I'm a cat who really was gone.
Are you?
You know, like Rah Rah Rasputin, lover of the Russian queen.
Yeah.
Was a cat who really was gone.
No. Hey, I went on the internet today and I found this.
An anime about the American Civil War with mecha. Yeah, okay, yeah, I'm down for that.
Where Grant Lee and all the other officers are magical girls.
I mean, to be fair, Japan does that to themselves.
So when I saw this today...
Yeah. Sorry, I'm super eating these, and you've told me not to eat these in the past, but this is so happening. This is just the opening crawl anyway, so deal.
I saw this, and I had the same reaction my wife did when I showed it to her. It actually took me a second or two, like, is someone actually making that?
I mean, that's true.
and I had to be assured, no, this is not actually happening.
Yeah, but why not? I mean, that's literally like 5 shows about the Warring States period.
Yes. Yes, it is.
So, I don't see why they couldn't do it to us. I hope you keep in this audio nightmare of these peanut butter puffs. These are really good, actually.
Are they?
They're growing on me. This is definitely peanut better. These Nutter Puffs by Pop Chips.
I'm in so much physical pain right now just from listening to you.
These are good. What? Are you saying you don't want to like dip a naked Cheeto into peanut butter and just eat that?
I can't say that the thought has ever crossed my mind, no.
It hadn't crossed my mind until now, but I mean...
However...
I'm loving it.
There is a restaurant here in Lafayette that prides itself on putting peanut butter on hamburgers, so...
I mean, that's true. They even had Guy Fieri.
They did. It's been a point of civic pride for the last, 5 years.
Longer than
that. So what have you been up to in the last week?
Well, the new Pokemon game just came out.
Oh? I forget which one that is.
Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. They're the very last Pokemon games to be on a Game Boy-esque platform.
Really? I hadn't heard that they were moving to something else.
Yeah, they're moving to the Switch.
Ah, that makes sense.
Since it's handheld anyway.
Yeah.
For all intents and purposes.
There are a lot of people I know that are going to be very sad about that.
Well, hashtag deal with it. The Switch is an amazing system.
Yeah, but
take Zelda anywhere.
A DS is like 120. How much is a Switch?
I have no idea.
A lot more?
Like 250 maybe? Like twice as much?
Yeah. That's quite a jump.
Well, I mean, deal with it.
So have you played much of your Pokemans?
No, not at all. I downloaded it this morning, and that was it.
Does it look any different than Sun and Moon?
No. I mean, it's going to use the same graphical engine. But it does have all of the old bad guys all in one game, which is pretty cool.
All the old bad guys from Sun and Moon or throughout the series?
No. Throughout the series. Team Rainbow Rocket. A bunch of alternate dimension rockets and everything show up.
Team Rainbow Rocket.
And you fight alongside Guzma, your boy Guzma. You know Guzma? He's your boy.
Yes, I do recall Guzma and all of his boys.
No. Him being your boy. I mean, his boys are sweet too, and his gals. But like, it's Guzma, your boy Guzma.
Indeed. So one of the things I did last week is I finished Kuzu no Honkai, that Akunohana-esque.
Oh, it's the Akunohana show.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm still eating these stupid Nutter Puffs because I'm a monster.
You
but please
are
continue.
a monster.
Oh.
Ugh.
Yeah. No, I dropped one.
Serves you right.
This is literally the worst thing that's ever happened to me in my entire life. Oh, I've got to find this Nutter Puff. But in the meantime, please continue.
I don't know. I feel like the moment has been ruined.
Where did it go? Nutter Puff.
So the despair you feel right now is embodied within the entire series of Kuzu no Honkai.
I literally have no idea where this thing went. I dropped it. It could be anywhere.
Cat got it.
No, he's not in here today.
That's what you think.
So what did you like about it?
About the Nutter Puff, or are you losing it?
No, about your TV show.
What I liked about it, so I did end up finishing it, and it is one of those shows where after you watch it, you're like, that was actually really good. It's hard to put your finger on why, and you can't really recommend it to anyone. Just like Aku no Hana.
Well, that's kind of a bummer.
It's like, yeah, this is something that people should watch, but I can't really tell people why they should watch it.
My Nutter Puff has literally disappeared.
Such is the despair of life. Zetsboshta.
Zetsboshta. The secret fifth panel is losing on your Nutter Puff. I'm sure I'll find it when the cat eats it and throws it up later.
Yep. You can eat it then.
Yeah, maybe. Oh, well.
So if there's one thing I could say about the show, it's probably that it is, at least from where I'm sitting as an old guy watching a show about high schoolers being in terrible relationships.
Yeah.
Is that...
Hold on, did somebody lose their head over all this?
No. As
no
far as
boats involved?
No, as far as I can tell, it is a pretty stinging indictment of the whole Western-style dating culture, at least from the Japanese perspective.
I mean, you don't have to go too far out to know that America's dating culture is really kind of weird and strange.
Yeah, but when you're living in it, it doesn't seem all that odd. It just seems like stupidity everywhere. But
well, that's fair.
From the perspective of the show, let me put it to you this way. If you ever have a teenager in your life and you don't really want them running around sleeping with everybody, sit them down and be like, hey, why don't you watch this basically J-drama that's been animated? Just watch that. And then when you're done, if you still want to do whatever it is you do, go right ahead. 90% sure they won't. They'd be like, I don't want any part of that.
I mean, who does?
I'm good. I'm good with nope. It's a show about relationships and no one is happy.
I mean, yeah, that sounds about right.
I ended up giving it an 8. I think it stumbled there at the end, but it's pretty good. I give it a very Aku no Hana thumbs up.
All right, well, that's good. Happy about that. I've been watching some more Double. Still really good. Double.
How many episodes there are of that?
Well, I mean, there's almost always close to 50 because I mean they show. So every year there's a new Kamen Rider and it goes for the whole year. So
wow,
it's like 46 to 50 some. Yeah,
that is a lot of episodes.
Yep.
Although I guess not to knock J shows, but they don't really have the highest of production budgets.
What?
So I guess they can knock them out pretty quickly.
No. You should watch like a legit Kamen Rider or like
I don't know. But I mean, we have shows that are relatively low budget. I mean, Brooklyn Nine-Nine's pretty low budget. We only get like 20 episodes of that a year.
I mean, that's true. It's tokusatsu is what I was looking for. But yeah, no, you should watch like a modern tokusatsu. They look good.
Do they?
Yeah.
Because the ones I've always seen always look like they've been shot on a handy cam with some professional grade special effects sort of sprinkled in there, but mostly like a soap opera style.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
Are you disagreeing with that statement? Or are you saying you should watch it regardless?
I mean, the camera works fine. I mean, I haven't noticed anything that's like glaringly bad about it. Kamen Rider Build is the new Kamen Rider now, after Kamen Rider X8, which is all about
build.
Kamen Rider Build. They should be finishing up Uchu Sentai Q Ranger, or I think it has just ended. What's the gimmick in this one? Pandora's box was found on Mars. Oh, it's space.
I like the premise already.
Let's see here. Pandora's box was activated, causing upheaval to form a sky wall that divided Japan into 3 regions.
So wait. The box was on Mars, but it created a wall in Japan?
Yeah, I mean, obviously.
Sure. Makes sense.
As Kamen Rider Build to help fight the Smash monsters that are created by Faust's experiments.
Wow, they mashed up a lot of stuff right there.
I know, right?
Is that like classical Faust or just a guy named Faust?
It's an evil scientist, I guess. Night Rogue of the Faust organization secretly moonlights on the side as Kamen Rider Build.
Does he build things?
I don't know. I need to see a picture of Kamen Rider Build.
Can he do it?
Kamen Rider Build. Oh, that's a cool look. Wow, I am very for that.
Rider Build.
That's cool.
Images. Huh.
I like that suit.
That's interesting.
That's a nifty one.
He's all stripy and whatnot.
Yeah, that's cool.
Almost like Captain America meets Japan.
Yeah, I like that.
He just doesn't have a shield. Rabbit tank.
Yeah, that's cool.
That's an interesting bike he has.
The bikes are usually a little. They're so they're actually used in the show usually. So, yeah, no, I like that. Wow.
Yep. Rabbit tank.
I like those eyes. They're like solar panels and bug eyes rolled into one.
Yeah, they are. With circuits and whatnot.
Huh. Yeah, that's cool.
So the only other thing I did this week was I finished catching up on and finishing Gravity Falls.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I really like that show.
Yeah, it's really good.
Like, I basically marathon both seasons in like 2 weeks.
Yeah, it's really lucky you, considering it took like 5 years to come out.
Yeah, apparently. Yeah, I remember last year when they aired the last episode, like, it was a pretty big deal.
Yeah, because it took them forever to come out with anything.
It has definitely made the list of shows that I am showing my kids.
It's really solid.
And it harkens back to those shows back in the 90s where kids could watch it and parents could also watch it and get a whole different experience.
Yeah.
So I will have to share with you one thing that I think you'll enjoy, and I'm sure you've seen all of Gravity Falls, right?
Oh yeah, no, obviously.
So there is a joke. This is the kind of humor that I really like. There's one joke in one episode where there's a big bumbly guy named Seuss, right?
Yeah, I love Seuss.
There's an episode entitled Seuss and the Real Girl.
Is this the one with Giffany?
It is.
The Giffany episode is choice.
Yes, it and the Dungeons and Dragons one, I think, have the best jokes.
Yeah, they're both real solid.
So
They're
Seuss,
A++s.
the setup of this episode is Seuss needs to get a date by the end of the week, and he's really bad at women, so he decides, as one does, to get practice by using a Japanese dating simulator to learn how to talk to girls.
Yeah.
So it being Gravity Falls and weird, the dating sim ends up being sentient. That's not important. Yeah. After playing for 14 hours, the two kids of the show come to his house and like, dude, Seuss, we need to like go out and actually see real people. And he's like, no, wait, I'm about to meet her parents. Her dad's an octopus.
Yeah. Octodad.
It's Octodad.
Octodad.
I had to pause and laugh for a bit.
Taco Dad.
It was delightful. I like that kind of stuff.
Toctodad?
Taco Dad? Yes.
Tocto.
Like
Like octo and tacos mushed together.
So I was thinking about this and I was like, so I have to put this on a list of shows that I'm going to show my kids, along with like the standard Looney Tunes, Animaniacs, Batman, the animated series, obviously.
It's really good.
I was wondering, do you have such a list that you're sort of keeping in your head?
I've not had time to think about it too hard.
Aw, sad.
Yeah, I know. I'm too busy living in the now.
In the now instead of in the future?
My reality is constantly kids like wanting Paw Patrol stuff. So, like, I know what the kids are actually into.
Oh.
Like Paw Patrol.
I don't know anything about Paw Patrol.
Well, la-di-da, you need to get with it.
Paw Patrol.
If you don't like dogs that are also like firemen, then what are you doing with your life? Wait
a second. There was a show like this back in the 80s, wasn't there?
Yes,
Crap.
Now that you mention it, but that's very different.
What was that? It's like,
well, you're not thinking Pound Puppies, but I know what you're thinking of.
I think I was thinking of Pound Puppies.
Oh, were you? Oh, well, this is very different.
So I guess we should talk about robots now.
Yeah, let's talk about robot boyfriends. Let's Jikan and Eve. Unless I can find my Nutter Puff somehow magically. This room is not that big. You'd think that the Nutter Puff would just...
Is it under your chair?
Bounce once. I have rolled my chair all over this room trying to find my Nutter Puff.
Did you look under your desk?
Yes.
Did you look in the vent?
Hold on. Nope. I was like, maybe it bounced into one of my drawers.
That'd be very impressive.
It did not. Well, I mean, they have like the handle is just like a hole cut out. So it would still be impressive, but I don't know.
So yeah, as you know, we're closing out the season by going through the OVA short series, Eve no Jikan, Time of Eve, where we have robots that are human-like and humans that are very robot-like. Who is who? What is what? These are questions that you cannot ask when you're actually in even though Jikan.
What is an android nightmare like?
Those are questions that we're just never going to ask at all.
Yeah.
Because those are uninteresting and no one cares. What's more important is why are they changing the flavor of coffee?
Why are they changing the flavor of coffee?
Because it makes what's his name very happy.
Main character,
whose name I keep forgetting.
In the future, probably Japan. Robots have long put probably use. Blah 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 blah. We know the opening crawl. This is basically our opening.
Japan has robots. The end.
We open up to one of the episodes of Ava where like weird things happen.
We open with there's a dude with a lady who is sprawled out all over him in a bed with some light jazz playing in the background. So we already know what's going on here.
We know what's happening in this thread. Oh yeah, and his phone is blinking.
Yeah, she is definitely completely passed out, totally asleep, exhausted. And he notices that his phone's going off. So he takes a quick look at it and then just buggers right out of there to, I guess, go meet up with his sex bot.
I guess that's kind of that's how the cut sort of works. But when you cut to
a femme fatale type.
Yeah. In front of a car, and X will be arriving soon. Says somebody on like a earbud thing. It's total Secret Service type stuff going on.
So yeah, interesting about that.
Yeah,
I paused the action there for a second, and we get this very short, like boot screen looking thing, and I happen to catch it. It's right before the title card.
Oh yeah,
it's odd. It's like a normal computer boot screen, and at the top it says, "Are you enjoying the time of Eve?" with some version numbers, blah blah blah, and then it says, "No drive attached to code : life. The BIOS is not installed."
I hate it when BIOSes aren't installed. They just get so upset.
How did you even start booting? And also, what kind of drive do you attach to Code Life? Is that like Code Red? Mountain Dew?
Oh, Mountain Dew?
Yeah.
I would drink Code Life.
I know you would. What color would it be, though?
Beige.
That sounds about right.
Yeah, I would think so.
A boring shade of beige. So when we come back from our title card, we have One-chan just sitting around watching TV yet again about how robots and humans should not hang out together. She seems to have a very strange fascination with these types of shows.
I think, or maybe it's just like the daily. I mean, look, it's the 24-hour news cycle, man. They just have to fill all that nonsense with something.
I mean, I guess, but she's a teenager. Why is she watching news all day?
Is she? I think she's like a 20-something.
Is she?
She feels more like a 20-something. She feels older than her brother. I
well,
think she's
then
totally
she needs
like a
to have a
20-something
job. She's get herself an education and a job.
It seems like she's definitely like a NEET that goes to bars, and that's like it.
So why is she criticizing people?
Sorry, regarding the existence of androids made for sexual intercourse.
Oh, just yeah, obviously.
Throwing it out there.
There's the theme for this episode.
I do like how they're like, dude, that's just a myth. And it's like, dude, sexroids are not an urban myth. Those are happening right now in real life. So
yeah, it's like probably the reason the robots were invented in the first place.
In the first place, yeah. It's like that's why they made people-shaped robots. Like, come on, get with it.
Yeah. We all know what the real purpose is.
Yeah.
I do like her comment about that, though. She's like, well, this is just going to accelerate the decline in birth rates.
I mean, Japan's been going on about their bad birth rates for a while.
Well, hang on a second. Let's go back to the opening crawl.
I was going to say the ethics committee video, because those are all amazing.
Japan, Taboon. It's like, yeah. I think you pretty much confirmed it at this point.
Well, not necessarily. I mean, you don't know that. Like, we have a declining birth rate at this point, too.
Could be Germany. Could be here.
Could be most industrial countries. We all have terrible birth rates right now.
But you are right about this ethics video.
Oh, all these commercials are awesome.
Why don't you describe it for all of us? Because it's delightful.
I don't know. It's just really good. There's like a man and a woman looking at a beautiful sunset. The woman has a robot halo, and then they both just kind of slowly fall like off a cliff, and then they just sort of crash, and body parts go flying up like they were both made of tin toys. It just says, "Love, it isn't there." Soko ni ai wa arimasen.
There's no love here. I realize what the message is because they sort of spelled it out, but if they hadn't, I would have been very confused.
They would probably be trying to sell chips or something. Or some delicious Nutter Puffs.
Well, before they show this, I actually thought it was like some sort of comedy show that she had flipped over to, and the android was like leaning on her lover, and because she's a heavy
But he
robot,
weighs so much, yeah.
and it just fell over.
That is weight shaming, and I'll have no part in it.
For robots?
Yeah. Anyways, by the ethics committee, obviously. I do like how even she is a bit skeptical about this. It's like, aren't these ethics commercials getting a little out of hand? The ethics committee has got to be what Protag's friend's dad works with, right?
I would think so. Because he seems to
Stands to
buy
reason.
into all those kinds of ideas.
Yeah.
Oh, we get his name. We get the Protag's name.
Again?
Yeah, it's not whatever I said it was last week. It's Rikuo. I should write that down somewhere.
You should write that down, because she thinks Rikuo has walked into the room, but it's not. It's Sammy, the robot. And she's like, hey, Sammy. Well, no, she's not. She just says, oh, status, Rico. Because she can't bother to be polite to her Siri. Now, come on.
Yeah, if I had a robot.
Oh, bless Siri's heart. Okay, you know how I was going on about how Siri and Alexa are not the brightest?
Did she just respond to you?
No, she's in another room.
Oh.
No, bless her heart. The other day, I was like, hey, you know what I want to listen to?
What's that?
Rah Rah Rasputin. Because who doesn't? Because that song rules.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, hey, Alexa, play Rah Rah Rasputin. And she was like, oh, well, here's the lullaby, row, row, row your boat. I was like, oh, honey.
That's so sad.
Bless your little heart. You try so hard, Alexa. You really do.
You know, speaking of that, I have a 16-second thing to show you.
All right, I'll eat a Nutter Puff while I watch your.
It is a thing where Alexa pretty much says what you just said, although slightly worse.
Play Broccoli on Spotify.
Beef.
Alexa, play Broccoli on Spotify.
Beef.
What?
Yeah, that seems like a lot of my Alexa things. What was I trying to get her to play? There is a song by They Might Be Giants, Black Ops Alt.
Okay.
ALT. She cannot hear alt.
Really?
I forget what she always says. She's like, I couldn't find Black Ops Old or something. Old, I think. Black Ops Old. I was like, nope.
Wow.
Alt.
Sad.
And she just cannot hear it. She cannot parse alt.
Huh.
I think it's the AL that just throws her for a freaking loop. I try to get her to play,
You could try pronouncing it like alt.
she can't get Blau either. There's a DJ named Blau, but he spells his name.
Is it with an umlaut?
No, it's that.
Oh, ew.
So it starts with the numeral 3 for Blau, for the B. And she just can't, because I think in her internals, like, knows that's a 3. I think if I called it 3 Lou, she would probably play my music correctly.
That's probably true. You should try it. Experiments
Poor Alexa. She bless her heart.
for science.
She will give you sweet elephant facts, though.
Well, my wife has installed in Alexa a thing that if you say Alexa, meow meow, it will start meowing at you, and if you meow back, it will continue to meow at you.
Will it play the Hatsune Miku song, Nya 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 Nya? Also known as the Pop Tart Cat song, for those of you who are just like inbred backwater idiots.
No. But we did find out because we were actually playing with that while we were doing dishes. Because the cats were in the room meowing as well, and Alexa didn't respond to those at all. But we cycled through so many meow samples that this app had that there was one sample that was clearly a woman just saying meow.
Good.
It's like, whoa, what was that?
I think all things that are trying to simulate cats should at least at one point just have somebody be saying meow. So Annie's aunt had a cat whose meow was literally meow.
I have a friend who has a cat like that.
Yeah, it was a big boy cat, and it would just say meow.
Yeah, my friend's cat is
interesting.
a Persian. His meow goes something like meow. Meow. It's terrifying.
So it's a frog. All right, let's talk about this show. I want to eat macaroni and cheese later. All right. Where were we? Rico is out to lunch. At least that's what the robot is saying, because it's his day off from school. So he's gone out to lunch, and the robot's been left to clean. However, it turns out our boys not Guzma, have gone to Jikan again.
Because they have nothing better to do. It's like, live your youth. But no, they have to solve the mystery of who's a robot and who's not.
Yeah, they like to break the one rule. The one rule.
Yeah.
Anyway, they're at the cafe today, and there's like nobody new. It's all the same freaking crowd. Book guy is up at the bar today. The little kid's running around still pretending to be a cat.
Who's funding this store?
Best not to worry about it too much.
It's probably that guy's dad.
Yeah, maybe.
But yeah, the bartender has come over to the two new regulars because they've become regulars now.
Yeah, they kind of have.
And she actually sort of berates them, like, shouldn't you two be in school? Like, no, you got the day off. She's like, oh, my bad. I thought that, aside from you, Ryoko, that your friend here is kind of a delinquent because, I mean, look at him.
And he can't follow the freaking rule. One rule, and he can't follow it.
In fact, he goes out of his way to break it.
He does. Just like in 2 seconds, he's like, I'm not going to get chummy with robots. And it's like, dude, you're in 100% the wrong spot for such interactions.
But it turns out that he's actually like some sort of scholarship student, like pretty smart,
Yeah.
honor roll,
Yeah,
et cetera, blah, blah, blah.
Doesn't mean he's not a jerk.
But she notes that they're just sitting there alone, and you know what? They need someone to talk to. But who could it be?
Who have they not interacted with in this sweet bar of all the people? Hey, Koibito, come sit over here.
The weird flirty couple that's always hanging all over each other.
Who the friend says is the android holic with his android.
Yep. I mean, that's definitely what it looks like.
Also, breasts.
Very. Hang on a second. Let's take a timeout, because during this conversation about who they're going to talk to,
You don't want to keep abreast of this situation?
well, we can get to that in a second.
Or are you nipping it in the bud?
Oh Lord.
Or are we going to have a sweet tit for tat? Sorry, I'm milking this moment for all it's worth.
Oh my Lord.
What?
No. So remember last?
Come on, don't be such a boob, Ben.
Oh my goodness. So last episode, you remember we had a discussion about the scene where we couldn't really understand why it was there, where Chi-chan kept pretending like she was a cat.
Yeah.
So in this episode, in a background conversation, you hear that Chi-chan is doing that again, like almost line for line.
Yep.
And that's why I felt like the conversation last time sort of set this up, like if she's doing it line for line again,
Maybe she's like a weird broken robot-y thing.
or just
Or maybe this
or
is just like a
small
thing.
robot regardless, basically
Maybe she's a cat robot.
stuck in a human's body.
Yeah, maybe.
I shouldn't try to presume her robotness.
Yeah. There's one rule, Ben.
Indeed.
The rules has nothing to say about whether or not you're a cat, so...
Yeah, that is a good point. But yeah, their attention is drawn quite heavily towards this couple, or at least half the couple.
Their eyes definitely cleave to them. Like cleavage. See?
Indeed.
That's where I was going with that one.
I like how every time Ryoko's gaze sort of drifts south a bit, the music goes into like this...
Smooth jazz.
No, it doesn't go into smooth jazz. Mine goes into like suspense all of a sudden. Like he's about to get caught. Or something terrible's about to happen.
Yeah, it does. It does violin stings.
Yes.
It's pretty sweet. His friend is very much against Rikuo ogling robots. Don't date robots. That's basically the end of this.
Or you might fall over and all your body parts go flying.
Yeah, evidently.
As
I
you
preferred
well
the
know.
space. I preferred the space Pope videos to these, but I mean, whatever works.
So anyway, they do decide to pair the two boys up with this very lovey-dovey couple. And just to make things more awkward, the bartender decides, let's dim all the lights.
Yeah, let's make it as romantic as robotedly possible in here.
I mean, it's gone so far as the big stoic guy from last episode that sort of walked out after being stared at. And he's sitting at the bar. He's like, wouldn't it be best not to interfere, like dimming the lights and being weird and creepy?
She's like, what are you talking about?
I'm not doing
meddle.
anything.
She meddles about as much as my old vampire character.
Yes.
A well-known meddler.
So we get our title card, which is Act 3, Koji and Rina, the lovers of Eve.
Koibito.
Literally Koibito.
Not to be confused with koi niku, which is, of course, fish meat.
Indeed. For a second there, I thought you said koi miku, and I was just imagining very large fish with pigtails.
Yeah, I was going to go with Hatsune Miku dressed up like a koi fish. But
That would also work.
I guess yours works too.
So anyway, the two couples, as they are.
Yeah.
Just
I do like how it almost does like a Law and Order dunk when it cuts back to the couple sitting across from each other awkwardly.
Yes. Silence reigns, and they're just sort of staring at each other. One side of the
Well,
table, then the
hold
other
on.
side of the table.
They're kind of staring at each other. One person is definitely not staring at someone.
Well, as he was trying, he gave it the old college try, but then the gaze started dropping. Up there it goes.
Yep.
Again
I
with the
do like how
violins.
and his friend whispers to him, and by whispers I mean pretty much just point blank says, "Look, if you look at her breasts one more time, I am going to hurt you physically. You will be physically hurt."
But they do all introduce themselves. Was it Koji and Rina, and then Rikuo and Masaki?
Yep.
I like how they're whispering about you're staring at them. No, I'm not. Like, yes, you're definitely looking at them. Well, maybe I am subconsciously.
I do like the running joke of everybody saying that like you guys get along real great, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, they do, don't they? Sorry, things are getting saucy here in Koibito land.
Oh my.
As she wraps herself around him again, and Rikuo can't help but think scandalous thoughts.
Well, this
before
time
his,
she's really putting it on. Come on.
I mean, you're not wrong.
Because she does turn to him and like,
This is a bit much. It's true.
yeah, I mean, she saunters up to him, gets really cuddly, but she also takes his hand and puts it places where it shouldn't go in public.
And then like starts getting her mouth right up next to her, like his neck, and being like, let's just like full on, just like, let's do this right here, right now.
Yeah, and Rikuo gets a good smack in the back of the head for this.
Yeah.
Very
It's
Jethro
well
Gibbs.
cut. This is a very well cut little sequence, though. Because you just get this really good, like, rapid zoom in on his face as he's like panicking about what's happening, and he just gets gibbed in the back of the face.
Yeah.
In the back of the old nog.
Yeah, for some reason, he's the one that gets punished for this, even though she's clearly doing this one on purpose.
Well, I don't know, because when they pull back after that little sequence, they're in a much less scandalous position. So it may have just been sort of the way he was like
Imagining
thinking about it. Yeah, maybe it's sort of an unreliable narrator thing where it's a bit more of an innocent pose than it looks. But his teenage mind will teenage.
Indeed.
Granted, she is 5 seconds from falling out of this thing.
Less than that, probably.
Good thing. Well, I guess I shouldn't say that as spoilers.
Yeah, we can get to why that stays on later.
Yeah, probably. By the way, they decide to finally make small talk. They're like, "Oh, you guys are here a whole bunch." They're like, "Yeah, we are."
Do you normally come here together? No, separately. We always come separately.
They say almost too fast.
A little quick on that one, dude.
I love the look this friend gives him, though.
Like,
Go on.
yes. So you're reading your robot mistress, right?
Yeah. So you're dating your robot. So how's that going for you? They do. The director does manage to perfectly capture awkward silences, because by the end of the sequence, you're like, "Come on, you guys,
Somebody say something.
quit being miserable."
So Rikuo finally decides to break the ice in the only way he knows, because he's somewhat of a nerd. He's like, "Ooh, you have a pretty cool phone there."
But yeah, then Rikuo notices what's his name, the boy's phone,
Koji.
and is like, "Oh, let's talk about these gadgets."
Yeah, you got a really cool camera phone thing there. Can I see it? He's like, "Oh, yeah, here." Rikuo and Koji decide to nerd out over the camera.
Rikuo decides to nerd out over the camera, and he's just caring about like the capacity of the camera, but in doing so, he's like flicking through this guy's pictures like wantonly. He's not noticing anything. He's gushing over the phone itself.
Well,
but,
he
like,
asks, "Can I see the previews?" And he's like, "Oh yeah, if you press that triangle right there, you can see all the previews." It's like, dude, if you are in a sordid affair, from all outward appearances, seems like you are, why are you letting some stranger look through all the photos on your phone?
Yeah, maybe.
Not a great idea.
Noperino to that. Yeah, but he does. He sets it up with the little holographic thing on the table, and Bluetooths it, and then just gets a giant preview of all this guy's pictures, including several more scandalous ones that Rikuo just does not notice.
Yeah, he's more thrilled about, oh wow, I can see all the pictures at once. That's really
Cool.
neat.
You have a good OS and blah 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 blah. Meanwhile, his girlfriend's like, "Hey, what's this picture of like you here and another lover?"
Yeah.
That seems
There's this other woman that's like all over your business.
so about that. But she stands up and just points at this picture of just like him and his lover. It's like that can't be good.
And the
Super
conversation goes more awkward.
Yeah, there's a big long beat. He's like, "Well, that's not what I think it is."
It's not what you think.
She just glares.
She's like, I figured as much, because your heart is always far away. No matter how many times we meet and or snuggle, or I press my bosom into your arm, you always feel so cold. And now I know why.
So why that my leg flips the frig out.
Yeah, that's not normal.
That's not normal.
Her anxiety manifests itself in the fact that her leg inhumanly starts jerking around.
Yeah, she may, on a scale of 1 to robot, it's looking like we're about an 8.
I guess, technically, she just broke a rule.
No, she's not discriminating. Anybody else who like notices or says anything about it without politely just coughing and averting their gaze. Yeah.
Well, no, that's not entirely true.
Oh?
Because last episode, Aiko said that she doesn't wear her halo in here because that would help people know that she's a robot, right?
Well, I feel like that's a little different than just like a leg spasm.
Well, anyway, the lady is like, oh, my leg is spasming. I will go powder my nose now. So, 1 second. And for some reason, this is a really weird scene.
It's a little strange.
Rikuo follows her towards the bathrooms. And she stops in front of the bathrooms where there's a little sitting area for, I guess, the women's room. Yeah, it's only one stall. So she is using the chairs there to look at her leg.
Hold on. Well, before we get there, can we back up just a moment and just go back to, like, as soon as What's-Her-Face leaves, the bartender comes up and is like, so, how's it going, guys? And then just all are looking, like, super depressed and weird. And which one of the two boys is like, I guess you could say this conversation was a bloodbath.
Ooh. Yeah.
Which is pretty good.
I mean, it's gone from bad to worse to worse.
Yeah.
And now we've got Rikuo, who has suddenly decided to become a stalker.
Well, I don't think he, like, follows her to the bathroom. I think he's just going to go to the bathroom to alleviate his own awkwardness of just sitting there. So he's going to go do something. The bigger question is, why in the world does she stop at, like, these chairs to fix her freaked out robo-leg?
And second, why is he, and upon noticing this, just standing there watching?
Because he's a teenage boy.
I guess that's true. No violins this time, though.
No, just more Nutter Puffs.
Did you find it?
No. I just have this bag of Nutter Puffs over here. I see all of those Nutter Puffs, but the lost Nutter Puff sadly has not yet come home to my tummy.
It will be forever in our memories. So anyway, as she's lifting up her skirt and showing a bit of thigh, which is got a bunch of wires and stuff falling out of it.
Those are the mightiest thighs I ever have seen.
Yeah, she is built like a brick house. Anyway, while this is happening, we get some audio overlays of what appears to be her memories or something of what I think are the Secret Service guys from before.
Yeah, I'm
talking
pretty sure.
about X has arrived, etc., and something about the car that she had been standing in front of that we thought the dude was going out to meet her in.
Yeah.
Suddenly just gets shot with a bunch of bullets, and she takes off like a boss.
Yeah, and she just goes running.
And it turns out she's actually a bodyguard droid.
Yep. Just a sexy one, because, I mean, they're robots, so I guess you can do that.
And he's like, oh, so you're just protecting Koji-san all the time. Ah, that makes sense. But still, she points out that the emergency repairs that she or somebody attempted to do on her leg clearly aren't working because her leg is freaking
her leg
out.
just freaking the frick out whenever she gets nervous.
Yeah.
That's a bad poker tell. She should really get that looked at
Yes, it is.
before playing any games of chance / skill.
But he questions her, is like, oh, so Koji's your master, bodyguard droid. So you guys just come here together because that's where he wants to go? And she's like, no, I come here because it's my own free will.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, okay, cool. Shouldn't you at least go to the
Go get that leg looked at.
robot hospital? I don't know where you guys go. The shop
Yeah, the shop. Can you turn in your warranty?
or something? Did you fill out the
She's
little
like,
card?
no, I can't have anything to do with official manufacturers. It's like, well, that can't be good.
Yeah, that's a little weird.
This is another one of those things they just kind of walk past.
It's like, yeah, my master be inconvenienced.
Yeah, it would cause trouble if official manufacturers found out about me being awesome. It's like, wait a minute, you're a master.
So that would seem to indicate not Koji-san, maybe?
Maybe?
I don't know. I guess Koji-san is carrying on a torrid affair with someone else's sex bot.
Yeah, I know, right? Either way, she goes on a little rant about how she wants to hang out here because, she can act human while she's here and blah, 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 blah. Plot of the show. Boring. Let's get back to that thigh gap.
Wow.
What?
Wow.
Well, yeah, she wants to pretend she's human for a little while, or at least be treated as human, because she could get murderated in any moment since she's basically illegally obtained sentry bot.
And because she's a robot, she is by nature nihilistic.
I mean that seems reasonable.
It does seem reasonable. It's like, okay, humanity, maybe not afterlife. Robot, definitely no afterlife.
Probably no. Probably super no.
She gets shot. That's it. So at least she can come here and live a somewhat normal life for a couple hours.
Yeah, and be treated like a regular human person by Koji while they're here. Because, he doesn't know I'm a robot.
Yeah. And plus, he's the only one who actually treats me like a woman because I'm clearly the least human-like robot here. If you hadn't noticed.
Also, she's got that hole in her leg.
She does have a hole in her leg. Well, this all has made Rikuo feel pretty bad about himself for being a perv and also being way too curious. Well, anyway, she's like, all right, I'm going to go back, sit down with my Koibito, which is what I was here for in the first place before he made my leg act up.
Because even if my Koibito was with another lady, it's that's still at least he's still treating me like a real human being.
Right.
And that's pretty interesting and refreshing.
That's really what she's here for.
Yeah, and she goes back to meet up with her Koibito. Rico jumps up to run off to follow her and is like, hey, the coffee's flavor's different. At first, I didn't know why, but now I do, and it made me a little happy.
So tell him. It's like, wow, I would be convinced after a speech like that. What the hell are you talking about?
Yeah.
Seriously.
I don't know. He's
okay.
just trying to put it all together.
No,
I think he's just...
Honestly,
Yeah.
I've seen where he's coming from, so I should understand this. But when I first watched his little rant there, I'm like... Because he's standing in front of a bunch of coffee.
Yeah.
And he says, the coffee's changed. I'm like, okay. Are you still talking about Eve Blend?
No,
and then he's
coffee at his house.
And then he's like, yeah, she changed it for me. I'm like, oh, he's talking about the robot. Okay.
Yeah, he's understanding that robots have feels.
But even me, the guy who's watching the show and knows what his thoughts are, had no idea what he was talking about at first.
No, I know, right?
So
he's an
what
awkward
chance
teenager who has no
does
idea what
this
she's going
lady
about.
have for understanding him?
No, I know, right? And he's just like, yeah, tell Koji what you want to tell him, even if he is a person and you are a robot.
Sex bot.
Do that for me, because the coffee's different.
Yeah, and her hair was wet once. So, nope, I don't.
For me, for your friend. But she's like, okay, I think you understand where I'm coming from, at least, she says.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, I think I kind of am starting to understand where you robots are coming from, what with your emotions and thoughts.
Yeah, somewhat primitive, but pretty deep emotions.
Yeah, even if you don't super know how to handle them whatsoever. It's like, it's okay. I'm a teen boy. I also don't understand how I'm feeling.
This is true. So we get away from that weird and hard to follow conversation. And we cut back to Koji sitting with Masaki. Now, they've been having their own thing going on for a bit. Masaki's had some time to look at all these photos, which for some reason are still up for everybody to see.
Yeah.
And he notices something odd.
Rika's not in any of them?
Well, Rina's not in any of them, yeah.
Well, whatever her name is. Whatever.
There's no pictures of either of you together. And she's not in any of these. In fact, it's always that other lady or the other people here at the cafe. That's weird, right? I guess it would make sense, though, if you would want your make-believe lover, your sex bot, to be exposed. And that would be bad for you, right?
Is this other lady here a robot too? Do you just like hanging out with sexy robot? And he's like, no, she's not a robot. It's like, well, then that's even worse. What are you doing coming here to see your sexy robot lover?
Yeah. And Misaki gets super upset about that.
Yeah.
He's like, wait, are you saying that this is real? That any of this is real?
I've seen that ad.
Yeah, I know what happens. Falling over, terrible stuff. There's no love there. He gets really passionate about this kind of stuff. I don't know why.
I don't know.
Mr. Misaki here. Masaki's like, you clearly don't seem to understand what I'm getting at here. And Koji dude is like, no, you don't understand because I get it. I know where you're coming from. You're right. Rina and we can't have a normal relationship because it's just a relationship between an android and a human.
Yep. And human lovers are best for humans, so that's why it can't be the way it is.
Right. And there's no way we're ever going to fully understand each other, but I want to help my master out.
Yeah. It's like, hey, now wait a minute. Hold on.
Whoa, back this train up.
Let's walk this back to the station.
Yeah, and
what do you mean?
He points to the original image that Rina pointed out and is like, yeah, my master here. That one right there really looks like Rina. She likes to kind of use me as a substitute for like real people because she actually is one of those droid lovers.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to like get her out of the house and stuff.
And to stop stop dating robots.
So I'm hoping by coming here and meeting
meeting
with Rina,
real human beings,
that maybe I can learn some ways of helping my own master out. Because we cut back to the opening scene, or at least a few minutes before the opening scene. And he's like, no, you need a human partner, lady. And she's like,
don't date robots. She's like, but I want to date this robot. Robots are easy.
Yeah, super easy. In fact, why don't I just become a robot? That'll make everything better.
Because then I won't have like thoughts and feelings.
And even the robot is weirded out by that.
It's like, well, I'm not quite sure that's good. That seems bad.
You should probably go out more.
He's like, she's totally dependent on me. That seems bad. So I've come here to help better understand humans. Because if I can understand Rina, then maybe I can help my master.
Yep.
Because I'll know more what humans care about and feel. It's like, well, that's going to be tough there, there, bucko, considering you are a robot dating a robot.
Well, he doesn't know that. Because he actually asked Misaki, could you like keep the fact that I'm a robot from Rina and not tell her?
Yeah. Yeah, because I don't want her to know I'm a robot. He's just like, dude, that's lame. I'm not going to keep your stupid secret, you pathetic loser robot. Who's a loser and a robot.
Well, he says that, but then he does.
Keep the secret, you mean?
Yeah, because the pictures are still up, but the two from the bathroom are coming back. Misaki turns off the phone, so all the pictures go away.
He's trying.
Did him a solid.
Did him a solid. I do like how when Rico comes out from there, he's just like, hey, we should do the walkie fingers and bugger on out of here and let these two sort out their own
and
stupid
it has subtitles.
Drama problems. Yeah.
Let us leave them alone.
Let's they got some drama llamas over here, so let's alpaca up and leave.
Let's scooch.
And it just sort of skips to just being like, yeah, so bye guys. Bye Koibitos.
And they go over to their own table and they're just sort of reminiscing about what just happened.
Yeah.
They're like, man, takes all sorts, right?
Yeah, it takes all sorts.
Both humans and robots. Bunch of weirdos.
Yeah.
A lot of them.
Bunch of weirdos. In the middle of this, the bartender is like, well, all right, moment over. Let's raise the house lights.
Finally.
I do like this, though, because the friend is like, hey, Rico, I'm sorry I hit you. Turns out I should have been ogling, too, because, she's totally a hot lady, and, like, humans are best, right? Am I right? Humans? And he's like, no? But Misaki, dude, she's a robot.
Yeah, they're both the robot types.
Yeah, I do like how he asks, like, Misaka, have you seen the light? Are you now like regarding androids as people? He's like, no, I'm an adolescent in junior high, so I want to look at boobs
We
of real humans.
pretty simple. But then I guess later, because it seems like they change clothes. So
Yeah,
so
I think
maybe
this
the
is
next day
supposed to be like the next day. Yeah, absolutely. Because before they cut away, the Koibitos are like still like apart and looking upset, and when they cut back, they're back to hanging all over each other.
Well, one is at least. But it seems like the two boys have had some time to talk about what happened yesterday because they are just now realizing. that, wait a second.
They're both robots.
Yeah, she never said her master was Koji. And wait, Koji said that his master was this other. What's a bit? That means they're both. And then the bartender shows up. It's like, hey, guys, the rule. You know they probably don't know about each other, right?
Because remember, everyone here doesn't know anything.
Not a clue.
Not a clue, so don't go putting into other people's business.
Although, interesting point. Last episode, when Masaki was trying to leave to follow that one guy out.
Yes, the Koibito tried to leave together.
Yeah, they
I
tried
agree.
to leave together.
Maybe that was like a subtle thing that like they wanted to try and tell each other that way because they couldn't find the words. They're like, maybe if we just leave together, my boyfriend/girlfriend will learn I'm a robot, and then that'll be.
Maybe.
Wouldn't that be awkward?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe they keep their halos off until like they're several blocks away from each other. I don't know. But it turns out that they actually have a real normal romance because they have no idea that the other one is a droid.
Yep. Neither of them know each other's a robot.
Which means they're keeping secrets from each other, which means it's just like a real relationship.
Yeah. Well, that's a little grim, guys. Come on.
It's not grim. I mean,
I do like how the bartender is like, hey, guys, don't tell each other because, like, don't meddle too much. It's like, you.
But she does mention that by figuring out that because they are sort of keeping secrets from each other, even unintentionally, that they're having a normal relationship, which means they're acting human. And the bartender's like, you guys are on to something. Keep that up, but keep it to yourself.
Yeah, don't break the rule. Bros. Be cool.
So, good question. Is it love between robots or pseudo love between robots?
Or is it two robots pretending to replicate human love?
What if it's two dating sims interacting with each
Playing
other?
each other. Oh my. I think I've seen that. Ooh.
Giffany?
Giffany.
Oh, or Jiffany, depending.
Giffany. I don't know.
Well, anyway, we finally cut back to Ryoku's finally gone home. Turns on the light, and the android has been hanging out in front of the sink in the dark, like a sad robot. She welcomes him home. It turns out she's left a little note.
Or the mom has.
Has the mom left a note? I can't really tell.
I think so. Because it says, now and mom have gone to dinner.
Ah, yes.
Well, Sammy will make you dinner. But Sammy has a little headband in her hair.
She does. She has a thing for pink things in her hair. I will point out that he does not pull it off of her this time.
No, I mean, good for him.
Good for him.
He's past yanking things off of robots.
Well,
she's just wooed.
Maybe not past it, because he sits down and she looks pretty forlorn because he noticed the thing in her hair. So I guess she didn't take it off in time. She's like, does it displease you that I have this hairband? And he's like, I refuse to answer.
Well, what's also interesting about that interaction is that, like, she says that. Hold on, she said that kind of unwarranted, right?
Does she?
Does he mention it? No, he just asks what's in it, what's in her hair, and she's like, the way she responds is very interesting because first off, she responds in a more human-like way, not her normal robot way.
Let me listen
and
to
the
it
ring
real quick.
above her head, the halo above her head, always stays red, so it never changes green like she's actually responding.
Ah.
She's responding like a person would, like she's responding like she would if she were at the bar, right?
Oh, yeah, she is. And her halo does not change color when he asks her a question.
It doesn't change to green. Yeah, like, well, and he doesn't even ask her a question, right? She asks him a question, which does not seem like that's particular. It seems like this breaking robot protocol here.
Very
right? Like,
interesting.
That's a little interesting interaction, which may be part of the reason why he's like a little, not so much squicked out, but a little surprised. Because it's like, oh, are you going to talk to me like you talk to people at the bar? Like real android / person.
I still don't
would.
understand his huffiness about it, but
I don't think he's huffy. I think he's just kind of embarrassed.
I think it's a little
It's
both.
like now it's like I'm living with like a person who does whatever I say, and that's now a lot weirder than it was when you were just like a robot.
Or I could see it as because he's a teenage boy and doesn't know how to handle any kind of woman, even if it's an artificial one. When he asks, what's that thing in your hair? And she's like, does it bother you? Because she's saying it human-like, it could be a subtle dig at, are you going to pull this out of my hair too?
Yeah.
And he's like, no, because I wouldn't do that, even though I did it yesterday.
yeah, maybe.
So yeah, there are lots of ways to read that conversation. That's very interesting. But that's also where the episode leaves off. What happens next time? I have no idea.
There's actually a preview in mine in which a very robot-y robot comes to Eve no Jikan.
Which begs the question, because he's clearly a robot.
Is he? Or is he a man in a robot suit?
Or do we have to all pretend he's not actually a robot, even though it's
I mean,
clear
no
that he's a
discrimination
robot?
between robots.
It's like, dude,
Stream like normal. It'll be fine.
you are definitely a robot. It does look like they're going to ditch school again.
Yep. Well, I mean, they found something far more interesting.
I suppose so, hanging out in a coffee shop talking to robots.
Yep.
So what was your best of this episode?
Oh, I don't know. I like the way her leg freaks out.
That was
It's like,
unexpected.
well, I mean that's an interesting way to do with that, which is also very interesting too because he still Rico's friend still believes that he is that she's a human, so he must not have noticed her freak out.
Well, and Koji too. And he actually was concerned about it, but he just sort of wrote it off.
I mean, I've had some pretty weird leg spasms, but never quite that bad.
And not quite like that. It's like maybe it'll jerk in one direction, but not in all directions.
Not in all directions all at once.
I didn't really have a best until we talked about that end conversation. And now I feel like that's the best conversation.
Yeah, it's really it's subtle, and it takes a little bit to notice what it's doing there. But once you do, it's like, oh wait, that's not how she normally responds to things. Because we've spent so much time with him interacting with Sammy, and her being very much like an android, like I am Siri, I am Alexa, and I'm going to respond in ways Alexa would.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Right.
That's why that last little conversation is really kind of like, hey, wait, that's weird.
Yeah, so I really like that conversation because it's got lots of layers, even though it's like 3 lines.
Yeah, no, I know, right?
So what was your worst?
His friend's still not being cool.
He needs to chill.
Just be cool for 5 seconds.
He can't even take in a beautiful woman just for the sake of...
The aesthetics.
Yeah, aesthetics. Can't even appreciate aesthetics.
Gotta be humming aesthetics. Genuine humming aesthetics.
I think my worst was probably Rikuo's attempt at a rousing speech.
Yeah.
It was pretty pathetic.
Very pathetic.
It's like, dude, I don't even know what you're talking about. And I, as a viewer, can hear your thoughts. So you're doing a bad job of this.
He is. He's bad. Bad.
So sad. So I guess we'll pick this up next week with episode 4 of Eve no Jikan, in which there is a bucket head robot with a scar.
Yeah, just like a good old fashioned robot. It's a bender
who may or may not explode.
You got a bender or is it Crazy Eddie, Exploding Eddie, Malfunctioning Eddie? That's what it is.
It could be Bender because I paused it real quick and his head is tilted at 90 degrees, and the's even a graphic talking about how his head is now bent at 90 degrees.
Yeah.
So he is definitely bending in that sense.
Yeah. All right. Well, I guess we'll talk about Bender the Robot next week.
All right. So see you guys next time. Hey guys, thanks for listening. If you'd like to get in touch with us to leave comments or suggest future silly topics, you can contact us on Facebook or Twitter at Aniki Podcast. Or if you'd like to know more about the show and hear past episodes, check out our website at aniki.fm. See you next time on Aniki.